Hello, everybody. Let me get this situated. Okay, maybe like this.
There we go.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Hi, everybody. I'm Andy.
Hi, and I'm Kim, and together we're the iWonder sisters. And we want to say hello. It's been a little while, it seems like, since we made a video, but maybe it was last week. But anyway, you guys who have been watching us know that we always have our a thing of beer. I like the way Gabby calls it a goblet. So, but today we're enjoying tea, and it's Constant Comment.
Constant Comment green tea. Constant Comment is a very popular Bigelow tea, and they put green tea in it too. So it's got all those wonderful antioxidants for your immune system. But the Constant Comment is still there, and it's really, really good.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. So we got some of that yesterday when we went shopping, and we didn't feel like it at all. But both of us have been a little under the weather last week, but we're fine now. And a part of it may be just getting used to the seasons too, which we haven't experienced. Well, Andy hasn't experienced in over 20 years, and I haven't experienced in like 4 years. So anyway, we're here and we're shining and we're glad to be back. And we just want to thank you all for your support and for everybody's for your comments on the videos and for sharing. We had someone who liked us, joined us on Google Plus the other day, and I also put her in our circles as well. So it's really nice to
we're developing a community.
Yeah, it really is.
It really is great.
And we're pretty odd people, so that's spectacular.
She's not kidding when she says that.
So it's really, we get so excited when people really feel us, you know. So today, we're doing conversations with the iWonder sisters, and I'm going to go ahead and slide the mic over to Andy, and she's going to tell you about our conversation and what we want to talk about today.
Well, Kim wrote a post for our blog that many of you might have read about giving and receiving, and I've always thought of them as two sides of the same coin, that one is equal to the other, and when one happens, the other happens. It's just the way of the universe. And you should read Kim's post because it's just beautiful. But Kim and I are both people who have a hard time receiving, and we have a hard time especially asking for what we want or need. And being on the ranch with the particular family we're with, the Deans, and also experiencing our animals in a different context is teaching us how to ask and how to receive. Giving, in many respects, is easier than receiving.
Indeed.
And so we're learning a lot of lessons about giving and receiving since we've been here.
Yeah, and you know, as Andy said, and a lot of people, I mean, once you really think about it and put yourself in that statement, you'll see how true it is, because it appears that giving is something that is like so tremendous and you know, so courageous, and you know, and all this stuff.
It makes you an altruist,
yeah,
and a good person, and you're going to go to heaven.
Yeah, there's all of this dogma really around giving. So really, honestly, it's much easier for most of us to give whatever it is that we can offer someone, or whatever it is that they may need, that they might ask us for, or we might see a need. It's much easier, a much easier feeling for some reason to give than when somebody offers us something, or wants to pay us for something, or just wants to gift us with something. So the blog post The main point of the blog post that I wrote was that I believe through my own years of spiritual experience and application, everyday living, that our our desire, we say that we want abundance in our lives, our desire to have what we want, to have what we need, to experience the fullness of human life on earth, to enjoy things, is very much often combated, I guess, or neutralized in a way by that inner belief that we have that for some reason we're really not worthy, even of very small things, not always just about big things. I believe myself that much of the lack that is experienced by many spiritual people, spiritual teachers, people who just really care and say that we want to do something and give back of ourselves to the planet and to people. I believe that much of the lack that is experienced on the planet, period, has to do with this sort of dual thing that we have going on, where we, in common sense, in our intellect, desire to live a full life, our best lives, our richest lives, not just rich in money, but rich in experiences as well, is often completely negated by the real, true belief and voice that we have inside that says that it's wrong to ask, it's wrong to receive. That old adage that, I heard so much when I was growing up, with my mother coming from a very Christian mother, my Mima, that giving is better than receiving. It's better to give than it is to receive. I heard that so many times. And in my post, I mentioned that often these things, these beliefs that we have been given and have been taught, that we've taken on, were given out of love. Many people that told us those things because they believed that they were right. So they believed that it would make us better people. Of course, later on, my mother began to understand as well. But so we have to unteach ourselves this idea that it's better to give than to receive. They're both equal.
And there's a big difference between receiving and being a taker.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Takers are sort of predators.
Yeah.
And they look for prey, for people from whom they can get something that they want. Receivers are more placid and peaceful and aren't on the prowl. And so there's a big difference between being a receiver and being a taker. And you can't think of yourself as a taker just because you need something and ask for it and then get it.
Yeah, then get it. I know.
I mean, when that happens, the universe is telling you that clearly you deserve what you've just gotten.
Exactly.
And the purpose of, I believe that givers and receivers both have purposes. And receivers, I think part of the purpose of being a receiver is to learn gratitude and also to learn that there is abundance and that we deserve it as much as anybody else. I think that's a large part of the purpose of being a receiver. But the interesting thing, too, to me anyway, is that when you receive, you also give, because very frequently the person that is giving you what you need needs to give it. And in receiving it, you give them something back. So there's always the two things going on at the same time.
Exactly, and I'm glad that that you brought up the difference between receiving something and taking it, and that takers are basically predators.
Mhm.
I mean, I think it's just that simple and that real, And many times when as Andy and I do, like we really practice teaching, or unteaching, as we say, a lot of things that are a little bit difficult for some people to hear, because if you've heard something, been told something, been taught something, and have believed something for a very, very long time, even when it's not serving you, even when that belief is no longer serving you, it is not adding anything to your life, it's not enabling you to add anything to anybody else's life, it's still hard to let it go, because I think in many ways, like I talked about the saying, it's better to give than to receive. In many ways, sometimes when we know that it's time for us to let go of something, that it is not a truth for us anymore. I think sometimes people feel like, oh, well, my mother told me that, my Mima taught me that. You know what I mean?
I think
And
people go through a lot of guilt when
mhm,
it comes time to let go of certain belief systems,
yeah,
because of where the belief systems have
came,
come from.
yes,
Um, and and also because those belief systems have become what's familiar to you, and we all seek the familiar because it's more comforting, and when you give up something that you've believed for a long time, you enter into unknown territory, and there's a bit of courage necessary for that. Um, and if you're able to do that, you should pat yourself on the back.
indeed. And I mean, that's what it's all about. For us, is the unlearning of all of these things that no longer serve us. If you uh, if we're not here doing what we do, we don't write what we write or talk about what we talk about for people who believe something, and that belief is serving you. And what I mean by that is that you have a set of beliefs that are bringing joy and abundance to your existence. It feels authentic to you to believe that. It doesn't go against another belief system that you may have. So many things, belief systems that you have, or many beliefs that you have deep within, if you are quite comfortable with them and quite happy with them, and have found that in using those beliefs, they have really brought to your life that which you desire, then we wouldn't be talking to you. We are talking always about people who, like ourselves, have gone through many types of spiritual evolutions, and we have really examined and kind of dissect our lives in a way that we want to see, when I was experiencing this, what was it in my belief system that made me feel that it was okay to experience that, that I deserved to experience it? What is it about in each of us personally that brings about the circumstances in our lives? And so we're just taking responsibility, and in doing that, both of us separately, in doing that, have learned things about ourselves and about how we believed or were taught, or how we misunderstood or misinterpreted something in ourselves that we were taught that made us think a certain way. And so we want to unthink that way, because we know the only way to change our lives, to continue to be on the path that we're on, to continue to grow the way that we are, and experience the life that we're experiencing now, is through that unraveling, of really being able to let go of those things that we no longer really believe, and the whole looking down upon people who ask for something that they need. We both had this thing about not asking, and I know I grew up with a mom who was very dear to me. We were best friends, and who was a great person. And she used to always tell me, don't ask anybody for anything because, if they might seem nice the first time, but eventually, they're going to see you as a person who's needy. She used to warn me about that.
Not only that, but some people who give think they own you.
Mm-hmm.
And that you owe them something.
Yes, yes.
A lot of people give with that in the backs of their minds, and it's unfortunate because then the whole giving process is lost.
Yeah.
The whole emotional content of giving is lost. But some people do give with the idea that they're going to get back.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a very sad thing. But I also wanted to say that where we're living now, our landlady, who's become very dear to us, is the kind of person that if she needs something, she asks for it. And if you have it, she expects to get it. And she's asked us many, many times for eggs, for coconut water, for olive oil, for whatever it is that she needs. Do we have some beers? And she is very at peace with herself doing this.
Yes, exactly. And she gives the same way she receives.
Yes, she does.
She really does, because through that, she has taught us, because Andy and I both coming from the same inner place about the whole asking and receiving and giving thing. Andy and I enjoy, because we have many different spiritual things about ourselves that we work on that are different. There are certain things that Andy works on about herself that I don't have an issue with at all about myself, and vice versa. There are things I work on about myself that she doesn't have an issue with. But this thing we laughed about, that we both ended up in this space together where we share this thing where we go through all of this trauma when we need something. And it can be so simple. Like, a few examples are like, months ago, not long after we got here, I guess, we ran out of coffee, and it was like maybe a Sunday, and we forgot to buy coffee or something. But anyway, we love our coffee in the morning. So, and he's like, we don't have any coffee. Oh my gosh. I'm like, okay, we'll just drink tea. She's like, I don't want any tea, So, because the Deans are so wonderful about when they are run out of something, they just walk over. We're on the same piece of land, of course, so they just walk over and ask us. And guess what? When we have it, we don't have any. There's nothing about giving it. We just go get it and we give it to them. We don't have it. We're like, oh no, we didn't buy any. So because of that experience with them, so well, why don't we just ask, Andrea? And so we did. Andy sent her a text message, we need some coffee, and she brought it over in a little container and all that stuff. I was like, here, and so later on that week, so we didn't go to the store. Later on that week, we ran out of that coffee. So we just did without coffee. And we had them over, or something. Andrea was over, or something like that. And we're like, we didn't have any coffee this morning, or whatever. And she's like, I have coffee. And Andy's like, but we asked you earlier in the week. And she's like, well, then guess what? You just ask again. And we were like, oh, it sounded so simple. She's like, that's just so silly. Like, if you ran out again, why wouldn't you just ask again? But neither one of us would ever have done that, because both of us were like, we already got coffee, earlier in the week. We couldn't possibly ask for more coffee. So it's something as simple as coffee that really, really opened up for us this, like, yeah, that was kind of silly. Like, we would do without something so simple as that, and many things, because we just didn't know how to ask, felt so bad about asking. And really, I don't know about you, but consciously, I never even thought about asking. It's only until they started asking that now, whenever we run out of something, I'm like, I'll just get some eggs from the D's. But it has created this family situation, this, level of trust, especially for me, who has an issue with that, of trusting people, period, of trusting that they are who they're showing me. Okay. There's a part of that I want to keep, but it's opened me up to this feeling of what it feels like to be able to give and receive, so freely, and have the same feeling, you know what I mean, behind both of those acts. And so we just want to share with you that doesn't always have to be about a big thing. It's about how you feel about asking for something that you need, and how you feel about, as Andy said, when you get it. When you get it, sometimes that starts dealing with, it irritates other issues and blocks that you have when you actually get it, because some people have a belief that they can ask and they'll never get whatever they ask for. So then when somebody so freely gives it like that without a thought, it really starts to open up and unravel other, blocks and things that need to be cleared spiritually, to be able to open us up to the life, the abundant life that we want to live. And by abundance, we mean everything. We mean a fullness of everything, of money, of joy, of peace, of friendship, kinship, all of that. So, yeah.
The other thing, too, is we've learned how to receive from the animals.
Oh, yeah.
Particularly Chloe, who is also known on Twitter as @ZenMasterChloe. And she continually asks for things. And when she gets it, she rests so deeply in the receiving of it, and enjoys herself so much, no matter what it is, if it's her dinner or one of Kim's nightly massages. We look at her and say, now that's how to receive.
Yes.
That's how you receive. And it's the whole thing's been a great lesson for us.
And she also knows how to ask, as Andy said, and we talked about before, I massage Chloe nightly. And but this morning, she was just all about, Mommy Kim, and she just does her little wiggly thing on the bed, and comes to me, and she wanted, another massage. She was like doing like this, and she knows like I'm going to massage her. She knows I'm not just going to pet her, So I started doing her neck, and then she's like, oh, and then I stopped for a minute to drink a little coffee, and she's like, no, and I'm like, I'll be right back, Chloe. I'll be right back. So she also knows how to ask, and of course, any of you with pets know how much they give to us, and just their being, their way of moving through the earth is just fascinating, and it's joyful, and it's just a wonder to really watch. We have 3 animals here, and 5, 6, 7 more on the ranch. They all have different personalities, but they all know how to naturally, within themselves, they know how to ask for what they want. They give when they give. When they get, they love it, and they'll definitely ask for more if they want it. And so it's one of the many lessons that we can learn from animals. And also, we have to stop, like this just came to me as well. We have to stop for some reason begrudging people who know how to ask. Listen, if someone asks you for something and you don't have it, or you don't want to give it, then the power then lies in your hands. You just say no. That's all. But I find that sometimes I hear, especially when it comes to businesses and things like that, where people will say, how dare she ask $50 for her reading? A person has the right to put the value on their work, the way that they want to. If you create something, you have the right to place a value on it. Just because I can't afford it doesn't make it wrong for you to place a value on that thing. Um, I was telling Andy that, when I was in Philly, many times I would just go to Friday night art gallery openings, and because they have free wine. But and I do love art, and I would walk around and appreciate the art, and I would hear people say, "Oh, how much is that?" And then lots of times the artist would actually be there, which was a great thing, and they would say, "Oh, it's $5,000," and the person would go, "Oh my God!" After the artist walks away, who in the world? Like, why would you even? Is that worth $5,000? Well, it is. If they created it and it's worth $5,000 to them, it is worth $5,000. And I've told many people when I was in that situation, look, I can't afford it. I can't walk out here with it. But you know what? Just because I can't afford it doesn't mean that it's not worth it. Doesn't mean that they don't have the right to ask you for it. And you know what? There are people who can afford it, and there are people who eventually do buy those things. And so I think it's very unhealthy for us and very counteractive for those of us who want to live abundant lives, joyful lives where we can travel and we can buy a piece of art if we want to buy a piece of art from somebody. For those of us who want to live that experience, it really is very counterproductive to begrudge other people who feel fine about asking for what they want when it comes to their own creations and their own work. So I don't think you can begrudge that in others and receive it for yourself.
I feel that a person that's able to ask in value what they believe their creation is worth says a lot about how they feel about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it says that they respect themselves, that they respect what they do, and the amount of work and imagination and creativity that goes into what they do, and they feel that they deserve that kind of compensation for what they've put into whatever it is. And so people that, a lot of times people will see something and say, oh, it's way overpriced. But beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And like Kim said, someone will come along who will fall in love with it and have the $5,000.
Exactly.
And then the exchange is what the artist hoped it would be.
Exactly. And the person who is receiving that is blown away. I've known over my lifetime many people who had the means to collect art, and I mean that art gave back to them every day.
Yeah,
you come,
it's true.
Yep, you come over and they're like, "Did I show you this painting?" You know what I mean? So it's a very the law of reciprocity. It's we can't begrudge other people. If I see something lovely on the internet, or even like people that I might want to work with, other coaches and things like that, and they're just too expensive, they're beyond my means right now, I'm just like, okay, fine. Sometimes I'll just put them in my favorites, or I'll read the free stuff that they have or whatever, but I don't begrudge them for feeling like their work is worth a certain amount an hour at all.
I think the people who do begrudge are people that demean themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they devalue what they do.
Yes.
And so they think everybody else should devalue what they do.
Should, exactly.
So each of those things says a lot about the person who's feeling the emotion. Mm-hmm. And if you are outraged by the price of something that's been created by another human being, I think that says more about you than it does about them overpricing their
Yeah,
creation.
because you have the power right then and there. It's like, as Andy said, it is about your reaction to something. It's not about you feeling something is too expensive for you, that is wrong. It's about your reaction to it. I love looking at many things that I cannot afford at this particular time, but I still get a lot of joy out of, I love Town and Country magazine and things like that. I get a lot of joy out of it, the artwork, the advertisements, the expensive jewelry, the way it's designed and things like that. And I'm fine if I can buy a copy of it for like $5, or something similar that's just costume jewelry. But I still have the joy. I still can enjoy watching these things and looking at them. And I don't feel bad just because I can't have everything. Some things I just enjoy viewing. So it is about, everything is about self-examination, about how you feel.
Mhm.
And to me, it's very difficult to cultivate a, a land around you in which you can plant seeds and reap your own harvest when you're looking over at that harvest and begrudging them because they have it. So I just really wanted to share that. And as far as creations too, I just wanted to share this on a topic, but like, I love, YouTube. I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube, and I have tons of interests. So I've been getting into this whole DIY thing lately, and I do collages with Andy's encouragement early last year because I really had this creative spark. I'm like, I want to create something. And Andy said, why don't you try making collages, because you'll be less judgmental of yourself, because there's really no wrong way to do it. So I started doing it, and I absolutely love it. I thank her all the time. I'm like, girl, thank you so much for telling me about this collage. So now everything is collage. But so the other night I found this young lady, on YouTube, who does all of these beautiful, intricate, really whimsical, like, sculptures. Like she does, like a hamburger, cheeseburger, and fries, and it's so cute, and they're all like made of polymer clay. And this is a part of how she makes her money, and I mean, it's just amazing. So I'm looking at this stuff and I'm like, okay, she has all these videos about it, how you can also do it yourself. So I click onto the first video about, how to make something. And after she showed how you have to work with that polymer clay, I was like, I will not be doing that. I had racked up all these videos because I was going to learn how to do what she does. Um, and I was just like, this is really not for me. First of all, I don't know how to really form things like that with my hands. Like, this girl obviously has a gift for working with this polymer clay. So you know what? When I want a piece, I'll just buy it from her. But I share that to say that, you never begrudge people for that which they create and they ask money for. So if she's charging $20 for a hamburger and fries made of polymer clay, I might have it or I might not. But whether or not I have it or not, I'm like, kudos to you, sister. That's all I can say, because I know that I'm not going to spend the amount of time, hours, collecting. She showed her craft room. I mean, all the stuff that she has and that she makes, and all her books. She has all these books she reads and works with over the years and everything. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. So kudos to her, if she can receive because of something that she creates. And so, I just wanted to share that, that we really have to get out of that. We have to really get to, some things about ourselves that are not always pretty, if we're looking at what's in front of us in our lives that maybe we wish looked differently. We're looking at circumstances we wish were different. So we have to go inward for that. Changing stuff on the outside is very temporary. It'll only come back and fall all apart again or look the same way again in a very short period of time. Ask me, I know. So, we have to really go within to really permanently change what's out here. And if that's begrudging other people for their wealth, their creativity, their abundance, their life experiences, the amount that they can receive through their work, we have to find out, why that is, what's causing that, and we have to get to that at the root and figure out how to pull it out, and plant something else there. So yeah. So today we're going to be doing a quick video after this. Just quick, like 5 minutes, because we're going to be doing a hashtag Twitter party. Andy and I are on Twitter. We love Twitter. So we're at iWonder Sisters on Twitter. Andy is at AJ Down Rabbit Hole. DWN, AJ Down Rabbit Hole, or just look up Andy Levine. So she also has her own Twitter, and I have my own Twitter as well, called at Married Number 2, the blog, Married to the Blog, or just look up Kim and Andy and you'll find us. But at iWonder Sisters is, of course, the Twitter that goes with our blog. And where we share our common interests and everything. So we're going to be doing a Twitter hashtag sort of tutorial on doTERRA essential oils, because they're having such a great special. I mean, you can sign up at any time. They have some wonderful specials, but between now and the end of Wednesday, they have a special where if you spend $200, or you buy a kit for $200, and you've seen our kit. If you haven't, it's on one of our doTERRA videos, the Family Physician Kit, and it has the picture thumbnail of the Family Physician Kit and all the stuff we got, including pure frankincense and all that. So if you spend $200, you get $100 towards your next purchase. And you can use doTERRA any way that you want to use it. Of course, we use it for ourselves, for our pets, and we use it to incorporate into our spiritual coaching, so that we can learn how to also help others with it. But some people use it just for themselves and their families and their pets. We've had all types of people actually join our team, from nurses to holistic practitioners, things like that. Andrea's son also spoke with a yoga teacher and all that, and he's very interested in joining as well, because the oils are so superior, and the thing about it is they're therapeutic grade, and many of them can be consumed. If they're not a blend, then they most likely can be consumed perfectly healthy, as many times as you need it throughout the day. So if you are interested in finding out more, or simply joining or purchasing a kit of your own to try for you and your family, you can just email us at iWonderSisterhood@gmail.com, or hit us up on Twitter at iWonderSisters, or also just put
I think an egg just exploded.
I forgot I had eggs in the oven. So anyway, so if you're interested in that between now and Wednesday, or even after Wednesday, of course, but till Wednesday you get like a free frankincense, and you get $100 towards
a 50 milliliter bottle of frankincense.
Yes.
And frankincense is good for anything that ails you.
Anything, yeah.
And it's a very expensive oil.
Yeah.
So to get a free one is a big deal.
Exactly. So we want to share that with you. And so if you're on Twitter, just follow us at iWonder Sisters, and then go to hashtag iWonderHealth. Of course, no spaces. Hashtag iWonderHealth. Okay, and that's at 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Mountain, and it will be 5 p.m. Pacific. Okay, so anyway, thank you guys so much, and we enjoy all your videos and everything so much, and so we really appreciate you. And if there's anything valuable that we say that affects you in any way positively, then please just share the video, subscribe to us down below, click like, and let us know what types of videos you really want to see. So. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.